I was not expecting to do a video about this. Idris Elba has appeared to call for the banning of all knives, even kitchen knives, in the UK. I wrote this up over at fandompulse.com. If you're not familiar with who Idris Elba is, he played Heimdall in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He's the voice of Knuckles in the Sonic the Hedgehog films. He plays a character named Luther in a British crime drama called Luther. His name has been up for playing James Bond for the last couple of years. Fortunately, it does not look like that will be the case because he looks nothing like James Bond. He should not be able to be playing James Bond because he doesn't look anything like him. But anyways, Elba has made some new documentary with the BBC called Our Knife Crime Crisis, and he did an interview with the BBC talking about the documentary, and a clip of it was shared to X by Lord Bebo, and this is what Idris Elba had to say. Let's just take a listen to this right here.
The truth is that kitchen knives are perhaps 25% of the knives used in most of the terrible crimes. That's one of the stats in the films. And those kitchen knives are usually a domestic situation, okay? So kitchen knives, of course, it's very difficult. They're a domestic knife. I do think there is areas of innovation that we can do with kitchen knives. I hate to say it, not all kitchen knives need to have a point on them. That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but actually it would reduce. You know, you can still cut your food without the point on the knife, which is an innovative way to sort of look at it. And in a country in crisis, I'm sorry, but yeah, let's look at that. But the truth is, all knives, you know, the loophole on the heritage knives allows the sale of ninja swords to be sold. So while, you know, you've got your granddad's sword on there and you want that, that's fine, of course, but it is leaving a loophole for someone to carry a ninja sword. So let's ban them all. And if you have one of those knives, get a license for it. Simple as that. And I think it's
So there you go. I mean, that's kind of what he said. We'll listen to the rest of it here in a little bit, but it is a little bit contradictory, right? He's talking about, he says ban them all. Obviously, he's talking about Granddad's sword and ninja swords there, but he was also just talking about kitchen knives. So it sounds like he wants to ban all knives, including kitchen knives. But it's a little bit contradictory, too, because he says, like, we don't need a point on a kitchen knife. You can just cut your food without a point. And so that doesn't sound like he wants to ban all kitchen knives. He just wants to change them all so they don't have points on them. But then he goes and says, ban them all. And then, but he's kind of talking about ninja swords there. So it's unclear exactly what he's trying to say, but it does sound like he wants to ban all knives. I mean, he even talks about at the very beginning how 25%, I guess, is the stat that he uses of crimes are committed by kitchen knives. And he's saying that he wants to reduce he goes on and talks about he wants to reduce something. He kind of stops himself and then ends that train of thought that he was on and goes to talk about something else. So it's unclear exactly what he was going to say there. I do find it interesting that he stopped his train of thought there because I'm wondering if he's saying it would reduce crimes. It might reduce crimes committed by knives, but would it reduce crimes overall? I'm not sure that's the case. I mean, you look at the UK, and I don't have the data or anything in front of me, but from what I understand, they have banned firearms for the most part. And now look what's happening, right? We've got Idris Elba here doing documentaries calling for the banning of knives now. When does it stop? When does it stop? Are you going to ban books because people start using books to bash people over the head in like a mob hit? Like it's trying to treat a symptom rather than the cause. He's trying to treat what people are using to commit crimes, to do crime, rather than trying to prevent people from committing those crimes in the first place. And I think that has a lot to do with the culture of the people that live in your society and what values they hold and what values they elevate and what they are doing with their lives. I think a good, moral, and just society, a just people, you probably aren't even having this discussion because you're not having that kind of crime. Now, there's going to be crime because we are human. We live in a fallen world. People do commit evil, heinous things. But for the most part, I would expect if you had a good, moral, and just people, that the crime rate would be significantly lower than what we're seeing today, where our cultures and societies are very hedonistic, and all kinds of sinful behaviors are promoted as good. And that really warps people's sense of morality. There's studies that engaging in certain behaviors actually reduces the parts of your brain that control moral behavior. So that is really, I think, what you need to start looking at, rather than banning a tool such as a kitchen knife because it could possibly be used in violent crime. It's utterly ridiculous. It's stupid. It's dumb. And at the end of the day, it also can be used to enslave you. And that's what George Mason said back in June 14, 1788, during the Virginia Ratifying Convention. He said, to disarm the people is the best and most effectual way to enslave them. So you're not actually protecting people by banning firearms, banning kitchen knives, banning knives. You are actually enslaving them. But let's finish this up here. Let's listen to what Idris Elba had to say here at the end.
It's a small contribution to society if you say, right, I'm going to back that. I'll get a license for my granddad's sword, because it is leaving these kids vulnerable.
So he appeals to protecting the kids, and it's just ridiculous, right? The whole logic of it doesn't make any sense, because you are trying to ban a tool because it could happen to be used in a crime. Well, the crime is already illegal, right? One assumes that murder is illegal. One assumes that violent crime is illegal. One assumes that assault is illegal. So banning the tool used to commit that isn't stopping people from committing that crime. You have to get to the root of what is causing that crime, rather than trying to treat a symptom. You can continue to treat the symptom over and over and over and over and over again, but at the end of the day, you're still just treating the symptom. You're not actually treating the root cause, so you're not going to solve anything. It's not going to solve anything. It's still going to be there. And then he calls for them all being banned, but then he says get a license. So he's not really calling for them being banned. He's calling for them being like significantly restricted. Are people going to have to go to the British government now and get a license on their kitchen knives? Is that what he's suggesting here? Because there is that. It does sound like that is a possibility in what he's saying. Again, it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. And I thank God that I do not live in the UK. I live here in the United States. We have President Trump, who is making decisive actions and is working to attack the root cause of a lot of the problems that are ailing society, and I am cheering him on doing that. And I just thank God I don't live in the UK, where they're going to ban kitchen knives now. It's just so stupid. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always speak the truth.